Hey guys, it's Jerome. If you guys didn't know, I like to play poker, and I'm coming off a pretty good year of results from 2024. This year I'm trying to continue to get better, and part of that is reviewing how I play. So I've started recording some of my sessions to see what I can improve on and what I'm doing well. Another fun part of recording is that I can edit and share them hands with you guys. This channel is just to show the fun that I have with all the players at a pub level, and mostly for my own entertainment. So without further ado, we'll jump into this 1-1 cash session that I had at DY Builders. Hope you enjoy. Okay, we're starting this session with $200, and in our first hand we peel 4-5 of spades, facing an under the gun +1 open to $7. It's a pretty friendly game, so you'll see a lot of calling pre-flop, and we like to play suited cards in multi-way pots to hopefully hit a flush. The low jack, hijack, cutoff, and big blind put in a call, and we're going 6 ways to a flop of 10-8-4, 2 spades. Under the gun +1 continues his betting with $12, and we decide to put in the call with our pair plus flush draw, hoping to improve on the turn. As we only elect to call, this brings in the low jack, the hijack, and the cutoff, as we go 5 ways to a turn, bringing in the king of clubs. Still sitting here multi-way, our flush can still be good if we get there. I'm not too worried of a bigger flush draw, being that there is a lot of 2-pair combos out there and straight draws. So when under the gun +1 fires again for $16, which is around 5th pot bet, I think we can continue chasing as we are getting a good price here to win a big pot. I call it $16, the low jack folds, the hijack calls, and the cutoff folds. Going to the river 3 ways now, which comes out the 6 of spades. We drill the flush in a big pot, and I'm expecting to be good here most of the time. When the under the gun +1 player fires the third barrel for $20, I think raising is out of the question. In case he did happen to have a bigger flush than me, and with someone behind me still to act, I think calling to maybe get him to call with worse is the best option. Our assessment was right. After I call for $20, the hijack behind me sticks in the rest of his stack for $15.
I got a flush.
I announce my flush, and the hijack player shows 7-9, meaning he riveted straight. The under the gun +1 mucks his hand, and we start the session off breaking in a $206 pot. So with the rush of winning that hand just before, in this next hand we peel pocket aces under the gun. I opened to $4, but knowing this game, I'm actually pretty upset about the sizing. I should be sizing up way more to protect my hand, as every dog and their mother calls, going 6 ways to a flop. That comes out king, jack 8, 2 clubs. Sitting with ace of clubs, I'm feeling comfortable c-betting this flop. I actually bet pot size to try to get max value from a king. So I lead out for $25, and we get the hijack to call. This thins out the rest of the field, as the cutoff, small blind, and big blind all elect to fold. The 4 of clubs on the turn is a good card for me, holding the ace of clubs now picking up the nut flush draw, allowing me to continue betting. So I end up leading out for $35, which is around about a half-size pot bet. The hijack thinks about it for a bit, and then 6 in the call. At this moment, I know this player isn't too crazy, so alarm bells are ringing, knowing that he may have a 2-pair combo. And as the 3 of hearts comes on the river, which is pretty much a blank, I decide to go for third street of value, knowing that I only really lose to the combo of king jack, but get value from all other king x. But it doesn't matter because I get snap called, snapped off immediately. I announce that I have aces, and my opponent shows me king jack of hearts for the top 2. We've value owned ourselves, and we lose this $220 pot. So not long after we got our aces cracked, we peel pocket 10s under the gun. We choose to learn from our mistakes from the hand before, and instead of raising small, we go a bit bigger to $12. We get the hijack to call and the cutoff to call, with everybody else folding around. We're going to go 3 ace to a flop, which is pretty good for us. We flop bottom set on a king jack 10 2 diamond board. With the board being pretty wet, we decide to bet a bit bigger to charge all the draws that are out there. The hijack folds, and we get the cutoff to call, going to a turn of the 6 of clubs, which is a brick. I choose the jam for the opponent's remaining $45, which he sticks in the call. The opponent shows queen 4 of diamonds, which actually gives him an open-ended straight draw and a flush draw. So we have to fade a lot of outs here. We run it once, hoping to fade the diamond or one of the cards that will give the opponent a straight. Can the dealer help me hold one time? And we're going to the run out, and it's the 5 of diamonds. The dealer's ruined me. So I'm paying this guy out $45. He got his flush on the river. $164 pot going my opponent's way. And just like that, back-to-back pots, losing with pocket aces and now losing with pocket tens. Hopefully we can turn tonight's session around, and what better hand to do it than the ladies. Pocket queens in the small blind. It folds around to the cutoff, who raises to $8, 3 bets in order. I'm not in love with my size here. I elected to only go 3x, but playing out of position, especially against a crazy player, I think I should have sized up a bit more, maybe around $30 to $40 to really weed out all of his bad hands, so then I know that I'm up against a very strong range. Instead, I only raised to $25 and he calls. Going to a flop now of ace 10 8 2 diamonds. I elect to check first out of position. The cutoff bet's 25. I call. I check again in the dark. The turn comes the 8 of diamonds. I check my cards to see if I have the queen of diamonds, and I don't. Let me note that normally this should be a standard fold, but against this opponent specifically, I don't put him on an ace, because if he did, he would be sizing up to try and protect from the flush draw. And if he was to have a flush at the moment, I feel like he would raise more than just $25. So keeping that in mind, I decided to get a bit loose and a bit sticky and put in the call here, knowing that if he doesn't slow down on the river, I will most likely be folding. With the 3 of diamonds coming on the river, I check to him and he bets out $50. All King X with the King of diamonds has now got him there, such as King Jack, King Queen off, that had missed straight draws up until the river have now hit their flush, same vice versa with the Queen of diamonds. In this spot, we've just got to let it go, knowing that if he was semi-bluffing on the flop turn, he's now got in there, and we now essentially don't beat any more of his bluffs. So we do choose to let it go. Nice hand to our opponent. $151 pot being shipped in his direction, as he shows me 8-10 offsuit for a flop 2 pair and a turned boat. That's how my night's been going. So as you can tell, there's a bit of a recurring theme in this video. My pocket aces have been cracked, my pocket tens have been cracked, and my pocket queens have been cracked. So we decided to get a table change, and hopefully the cards will start flipping in our favor. And I didn't get it on camera to show this hand, but I have pocket eights under the gun, and I choose to raise it up to $10. I get the low jack to call me, and everyone else folds around to the big blind, and he ends up sticking in the call as well. So 3 ways to a flop we go. 10, 6, 4 rainbow. We all decide to check it through. The turn comes in the jack of hearts. So I do block some of the straight draws, but it does check through again. And when we get to the river of 7, I decide that I'm the only one that can have a straight. I decided to semi-bluff for a third pot bet of $10, knowing that a jack or 10 would have already bet. I get raised here for $30 and the big blind folds. I think I should just be calling here like 80% of the time. I did debate whether to re-raise him as a bluff, knowing that I block all the straights that are out there. But because I didn't choose to bluff, I actually ended up folding, because I don't know why. I must have just been caught up in the moment thinking that he has me beat, but the way the hand was played out, all the hands that beat me would have played it more aggressively. So credit to my opponent, and yeah, for making me fold the hand, which I do think would be good most of the time. Just to rub the salt in the wounds, he shows me a bluff with king high. Nice hand, you can see him here. He's all excited, happy, cheering, give me a little flex. Yeah, nice hand, buddy. So into our next hand, I peel king jack suited. I'm in the big blind, and there's a few limpers, and then it gets around to the button who raises it to 5. Small blind calls, I call. The rest of the people that limped in end up calling, and I think we're going 6 ways to a flop of 3-7 jack. Flopping top pair, out of position. We always choose to check here, see what action builds. The low jack bets $12, the high jack and the button fold. The small blind calls, and I think it's time to spring the trap. So I check raise to $35. The low jack ends up tank folding, and the small blind puts in the smooth call. We head to the turn, which is the 6 of hearts. Small blind checks, and I decide to jam for 106, which is less than a pot size bet. The small blind snap folds, and I show everyone the king jack. $112 pot, moving my way, finally getting some momentum in this session. Last hand, we peel pocket aces, and how good, there's a $6 shuttle from under the gun. We get a few limpers, and then we end up 3-betting to $33. The big blind folds, and the original straddler defends his shuttle for $33, and the rest of the people get out of the way, so heads up, we go into a flop. The flop comes pretty safe with 5, 10, 5, 2 hearts. Knowing that he has a straddle, he could have any 2 cards, so we do decide to c-bet for value just in case he has a big draw. He ends up calling, and the jack of hearts peels off on the turn. I go all in for $97, and the under the gun calls me with king queen of diamonds. He has an open-ended straight draw, but that's good for me as we block some of his straight outs. We decide to run it twice, and we'll go to the run out to see if we can hold.
Twice, so to show that, it's the first one. First one, then bang.
I win that though. I win that, bro. I win that.
You win twice, but a nice hand.
Josh.
God, please, no! 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 No!
Both run out with a 9. I get stacked. Aces cracked again. As you can see by the reactions in these guys' face, that was disgusting. Yeah, so hey guys, as you can see, that session was very tough. I got my aces cracked twice. I got my queens cracked. I got 10s. I got my 8s, and then just like a lot of very good starting hands didn't end up very well for me. So as you could tell, I got stacked in that last hand with aces. I ended up rebuying, and I did end up profit for that session, so I ended up $470. My phone died, and I'd been drinking beers and stuff, so then I kind of got away from the camera a bit. If you guys like the video, let me know. Like most of the people that are watching this I probably play with, so I'd like to hear your feedback. If not, then maybe comment on my videos of what you want to see. I'm only just getting new to this editing stuff, so it's actually taken me a while. So it's taken me, I think, a week to edit all of this and put it out the way that I did. So the support would be very much appreciated. If you have any tips on what you'd like to see or what you'd like me to do in the next video, feel more than welcome to DM me or just comment. And yeah, thanks for supporting. If you got to the end of the video, thanks for watching. I'm hoping I'll get to verse all you guys, and you guys will get in the vlog as well. I want to start doing this more consistently, for sure, for my own benefit and for fun and entertainment. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll post it on my Instagram when I post the next video. Thanks.